RedZoneSports.Bet, the British home of American sports.
Hey, thanks for keeping it here with the Sports Heads, and we're live again with RedZoneSports.com. And Simon Milham, Warren Lambias joins us on this one to take us through the betting phase of the show. And, these two guys are true experts. These are two guys that I would put, I'm trying to find my wallet if I'll put it down with it, but let's see what they have to say. We'll start off with the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons. Two teams look like they're going in completely opposite directions.
Yeah, Atlanta seem to have picked it up in recent weeks. Atlanta are 11.5-point favourites for this one. I personally thought that, bearing in mind the Dolphins' defence was quite decent, they would be about a 7-point favourite, but 11-point favourites, Warren. It's a big number.
I just can't trust Miami to score any points. That's my problem with it. If Matt Moore comes in, I'd like that 11.5 points. If bit of garbage time, but seeing Jay Cutler at Wembley a couple of weeks ago, I just can't. Even though the line is high, I could see Miami maybe just sort of keeping under 10 points, and I think Atlanta could absolutely blow them away. So I wouldn't touch it as a bet myself, but I know it's one of your picks, Simon.
Yeah, it is one of mine. I just think that you look at Atlanta's offense, and they've allowed, the offensive line have allowed Matt Ryan to be basically hit on a fifth of his plays. So 20%, it's a big number. I wonder how much that's going to take out of him as the season goes on. So that's something they've got to get cleaned up. I think bringing in Dontari Poe has really helped them though, defensively. So.
Well, I wouldn't argue anyone backing a plus 11.5. It's a great bet normally, but as I said, I just don't trust the score.
Say the over/unders 46.5 points wise. I mean, what do you make of that?
Do you know what? Unders and overs. If I've got one on my selection this week, it's something I tend to leave alone. I like the spreads much better than the unders and the overs. So I'll leave that for you if you want to make a selection on that or not.
No, I was just throwing it out. There was a line.
That's what I love. I love a guy that's non-committal, that's doing some betting. Well, let's go to the top of the AFC East, the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. The New York Jets, by far the most surprising team in the National Football League.
Yep. Well, I'm all over the Jets plus 9.5, giving a home team 9.5 points. I think that's just on Patriots' reputation. I think that they're not the team that we thought they were going to be. Their defense is all over the place. You want to give me any team 9.5 points at home, especially in a divisional rivalry. The Jets aren't as bad as we thought they were. The Patriots aren't as good as we thought they were. I'm all over that. So that's definitely where my money's going this week.
Okay. Josh McCown against the Patriots pass defense. This has got to be on Comedy Central, right? This has got to be the main game there, surely. I mean, this isn't a joke. These two are tied for first place. Sorry, Kev, but they're tied for first place.
Don't forget about the Buffalo Bills.
I am forgetting. That's what I'm saying.
Don't forget about the Bills in there.
They're tied for first place in the AFC East, and looking at both sides, it's not exactly the
someone get
division,
Simon an account open, please, because he wants to back an away team with minus 9.5 points. So
Well, McCown's averaging, he's the epitome of a game manager. 200 yards a game, a touchdown here and there, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but his completion percentage rate, and I quite, I like what you're saying. 71% of his passes have been completed, but. Tom Brady against Josh McCown. If it comes to a shootout, I'm sorry, Patriots are all over
absolutely. If it's a shootout, and I can understand why people would go, but I think if that's any other team but the New England Patriots, the name of the New England Patriots, I think that line's at sort of 7.5. So I would have to back the home team plus 9.5 points.
Unders overs are 47. That suggests to me it's going to be a high-scoring game, which suggests to me it's going to be a shootout, which suggests to me the Patriots are going to win.
In that case, I will gladly give you a bet boost on your bet there. So yeah, there you go.
You heard it here first.
Happening in New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints will be welcoming the Detroit Lions, coming off a close loss to the Carolina Panthers last week.
There's a bit of an anomaly with, I'm glad I said that, anomaly. It's not easy to say. He's one of the Detroit Lions pass defenses. There's the issue, they rank in the bottom 6 in yards allowed, Detroit, which is quite surprising really, because quarterbacks have only thrown 7 touchdowns against them. So it says to me that they're a bend, don't break offense. Slayer's been absolutely brilliant on the back end until they played Carolina last week. But the key matchup for me is Darius Slay against Michael Thomas. This is going to be a really interesting one. I mean, Detroit are 6.5-point dogs, and I just wonder whether the Lions can actually keep pace in this one. So
I've got them as 4.5 points, but I still like them with 4.5 points, to be quite honest with you. I think Lions 4.5 points. I think they can give anyone a game. Actually, Detroit. I really, really like them as a team. I think Matt Stafford's playing the best football of his career, and as I said, New Orleans are a bit Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know quite what you're going to get with them, and I think it will be a close game. Therefore, if you're going to give me 4.5 points, I'll take it.
Their defence has improved a lot, New Orleans, as the season's gone on, as we saw against the Dolphins, who are putrid anyway. But they picked it up in the past few weeks. So I mean, I'm still going. And this another one promises to be another shootout. Over 49 points. You know, Matt Stafford, the comeback king. The Lions are the comeback kings. They can keep it close enough, I think.
I think so, and you wouldn't be surprised if Detroit won the game either. So we're both in agreement on that one. So
absolutely.
Coming off of a big victory last week, the Baltimore Ravens welcome the newest rookie starting quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, and his Chicago Bears.
Yeah, the Bears have started 1-4 and played Minnesota tough on Monday in Trubisky's debut. But the good thing about the Bears is they've got a decent running game. They've got Howard and Cohen, who sort of solicitors, and they've been laying down the law a little bit as well. You know, 721 yards between them, so they have got a decent running game. They're going to try and rely on that. I don't trust Baltimore at all. They're so Jekyll and Hyde.
I think it's the same for both teams, to be quite honest with you. Therefore, if you're going to give me the 6.5 points, I think the new rookie quarterback coming in to give everyone a bit of a lift. I think 6.5 points. If Baltimore play like they did last week, then they should win easily, but who knows?
Their run defence ranks in the bottom 10, and they're pretty shallow without Brandon Williams, and I think that's a big key. It's going to be a big miss for them as the season goes on. So
we're agreeing on that
one.
We're
agreeing on Chicago as well. It's worrying, isn't it?
Yeah,
a team that still has not won a game traveling to Mile High City. New York Giants versus the Denver Broncos.
Do you want to take this one? It's nice and easy, this one.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I understand what your pick is. You've picked Denver minus 11.5, and I just, as a gambler, I can't pick anyone with that big a line. It just panics me. You know, I just think that, you know, garbage time touchdowns or whatever. I mean, garbage time touchdowns. Where's it going to come from? New York, but still 11.5 points. I've had my fingers burnt too many times where I think a team should absolutely roll someone over. So I can't touch it, but I completely understand why it's one of your picks.
Well, Travis Rudolph and Tavares King have been activated from the roster just to fill the practice squad. You know, you could buy the Giants' offense now, the wide receivers certainly, for a can of Coke and a bag of donuts, because it's.
I think you're overpaying, to be quite honest with you.
A can of Coke. We're going to tell you that. Yeah, sure. Trevor Siemian's not sort of Matt Ryan. I mean, I'm interested in two lines here. Miami's line is 11.5. And Denver's line is 11.5. Now, you look at the Miami offense and you say they've got Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, you've got you've got an awful lot of weapons there, Jay Ajayi, etc., Jarvis Landry, and yet Eli Manning has got nobody to throw to, and they're only 11.5 points favourites, going against a much tougher defence than those lines. So I don't get these two lines. So yes, but Miami may well be blown out, but I don't understand the lines. My thinking is the Broncos, if that's the case, the Broncos are probably legitimate 11.5 point favourites, whereas Miami probably aren't 11.5 point underdogs.
The only thing I would say about that is that Denver blowing teams out, I don't think it's not their nature to really blow a team out. I think they'll get a couple of scores up, and they could quite easily hold New York down, like putting their hand on on a little kid's head and try and let him punch you, and it'd be just
I'd never try that.
Well, especially at my height, to be quite honest with you.
You are
Adrian Peterson, I'm stood up now, everyone. That's what you don't realise. So I understand why you're taking the pick. I won't be putting my money there, though.
Well, we're going to go down south as Indianapolis and Tennessee get it on.
I've gone with the Titans, simply because they're the home team. Monday Night Football, questionable about Marcus Mariota. Matt Castle, we've already spoken about in previous shows, is not the answer, but I think their running game's going to be key there with Murray. I think they're going to have to play to their strengths. They had a terrible game plan against Miami last week, and I think they're going to have to really fix that, but I still take them over the Colts.
Too many unknowns for me in this game, so I wouldn't even look to bet on it. Perhaps if you know who's starting.
Perhaps if you know the line as well.
Yeah, that's it. It's off the board, and that says everything.
Yeah.
If Vegas doesn't know what the line is, then who am I to try and second guess
I would think that you would, be able to jump over Vegas.
What you
I'm
got to
betting on you, man. I don't bet a lot, but I'm betting on you. Come on, baby. You got to come with something.
The clever guy does the lines in the other room. I'm the guy who gets the gin and tonics. I tell this to everyone. So no, yeah. It's when it's off the board. I think there's too many unknowns, so I couldn't put my money on it yet. So yeah, that's why I would go with that. Now I've got coming up next. Oh, sorry, Kev. I'm trying to do Kev's job.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
you got San Francisco.
San Francisco plus 10. I think San Francisco have been unlucky on a lot of games. I think it's a high line. I think although Washington have coming off the bye and they're looking great, they had a lot of injuries on defense, and I just think 10 is a high line. Yep. So I'm going to go with the 49ers plus 10.
They've played them tough, but they've got to go. They've got to go East Coast from West Coast. Never easy thing to do.
I know.
We said that against the Chargers and the Giants last week. So.
Yeah. I just think that San Francisco are one of those teams that it's like a trap game. They've got to win in there somewhere that people aren't going to expect. They would knock loads of people out of survivor pools that they're in. I'm not sure this is the game for that, but I think plus 10. I don't think that San Francisco team is as bad as that 10-point line.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree. But I'd happily lay Washington in that one.
Yeah, okay.
At that line.
And finally, we go to Cleveland Browns. Well, you like San Francisco. They have not won a game this season. You look at the Cleveland Browns. How are you feeling about them going into this week?
This is another one of my picks. It's not one of Simon's. Again, 9.5 points. I think that Hogan going in. People don't know what they're going to get from Hogan. I think he looked pretty good at the end of the game last time. He threw for 194 yards in the second half, 16 of 19 completions. I think 9.5 points is a big line. Also, the Houston defense, we don't know how they're going to react after the big losses they've had, J.J. Watt and what have you. And I think that the identity of Houston might actually change. We've always known them to be a defense team first and not much offense. I think now you might just see them going out and they're trying to win games in a slugfest now because they're going to have to change their DNA. And I just still think that 9.5 points, again, garbage time scores. Cleveland, are they going to win the game? I don't think they're going to win the game, but if you're going to give me 9.5 points, I think I'll take that.
I think Cleveland are a lot better than people are giving them credit for. I really do. And you've got Myles Garrett coming in now as an extra help on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that on board. It's not a game I'd want to play, I must admit, but if I had to, I'd go with Cleveland the points.
Okay, well, we'll have to keep a score next week, and we'll see how we did.
Excellent.
Yeah, we definitely will. Warren Lambias, Simon Milham, Kevin Cato. I have nothing smart to say, but I just want to say to you, be smart with your betting.
American football and my hot cheerleaders. It'll make you feel like a Yank. RedZoneSports.Bet, the British home of American sports.
Hey, thanks for watching SportsHeads. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, but you can also hit us on Twitter, Instagram. We would love to hear from you. We're trying to take the program from next level to next level to next level. Enjoy.